All right, so we just went left at Appalachian Fairgrounds, right?
I was gonna say I didn't see the fair going on.
Well, there's no fair going on. Well,
We have the Appalachian Fairgrounds. Yes.
Yeah. Well, at the fairgrounds, we're talking about concerts, and I was talking about going to seeing the Florida-Georgia line, whatever.
You keep saying Georgia, Florida line.
I think I like Georgia better than Florida.
Well, you're used to going south.
Yeah.
So you hit Georgia first.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you for bailing me out on that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But and seeing it, I mean, sounded good. The crowd was going wild, but I couldn't see anybody. And if one little snippet, I saw one of them's hair bouncing when he was running around on the stage.
Yeah.
And that's all I saw. So it's like, was it a good concert? It was for anybody that could see it, probably. For me, miserable.
See, in this area, we have to catch people as they're like going to the top too, which I think is pretty good.
Or falling all completely down.
Yeah, way down. But yeah, you know that before Billy Ray Cyrus come out with Achy Breaky Heart, that they got him to play, was it like Castlewood? Like
really?
Russell County?
Yeah.
Claude Hart, that my uncle's worked for and my cousin still works for, he actually got him to agree to come play, and then he had Achy Breaky Heart come out, so he really hit the big time.
Yeah.
And he was apparently trying to get out of the contract to come play, and Claude held him to it.
How funny.
So that was a huge thing. But I mean, to me, I know he did Old Town Road and all that, but Achy Breaky Heart is
that's what you know for.
You know?
Yeah, that's what it'd be remembered for.
Yeah, kids nowadays, I know they know Old Town Road, but come on. Ugh.
Yeah, when I was...
I don't like that little Nas X or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not about the devil blood or whatever.
No,
I saw Billy Ray Cyrus. I didn't go to his concert, but I was at the West Virginia State Fair, and he was playing the concert, and you could just walk up and watch without a ticket from the side. Anyway, he played Achy Breaky Heart twice. He was so new, he didn't have anything else to say.
That's so funny.
He opened the show with it, and then he didn't close the show with it.
That's a good idea, though. Yeah. I mean, it was a great song. Everybody loved it.
Oh, yeah, that's what everybody's there for, so.
Yeah, I was just a baby when that song came out, but I had a little baby shirt that said Achy Breaky Heart. I think everybody had that shirt. And there's a home video of me dancing on our porch in that shirt and a diaper, and I was bouncing, you know how babies dance.
Yeah.
It was cute.
You can tell your mom moved to Arkansas. Now, I wasn't the biggest fan of that song, but I did like some of his stuff, I'm ashamed to say, which I'm...
Like what?
I Hope You Never Find Somebody New. That was a good song.
I know, Achy Breaky Heart.
And that's about it.
Yeah, that's about it. Like I said, I was a baby.
I know the words by heart. I know every line. That was a good song, too. But anyway, I digress. Let's go on.
Yeah.
Anyway, other shows. What's the last show you saw?
The last concert that I went to? Yeah. I love concerts, and I usually go a lot, but like with COVID and the way that I was working during COVID and everything too, well, and you know, there just wasn't concerts, but where was the last one I went to?
I don't know. I don't think you've been in a while to, well, you know, a major show anyway. We probably saw people playing bands that were like local.
I feel like me and you went somewhere.
Did we?
Did we not?
I don't know. I'm thinking the last three I went to. Here they are, and these are great.
Okay.
These are three of my favorites, just about, that I've been to.
Mm-hmm.
The last one I went to was Oak Ridge Boys.
Yeah.
I saw them in Bristol, and I just loved Oak Ridge Boys, and they were just great.
Yeah.
Then before that, I saw Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. That was right before COVID went out. I remember looking around. I was sitting at the Paramount in Bristol.
Yeah.
And I looked around the room thinking, I don't know if we'll ever be back in a big place like this with this many people together again, because it was like February or March of...
Oh, yeah. See, February or March of 2020, I was just like, this is just going to blow over. No big deal. I know who the last one I went to was. Crowder. It was at the Paramount.
Yeah.
When you said Paramount.
That's right.
Me and my mom went, and my friend and her son.
You didn't invite me.
Do you know who Crowder is?
No,
Name one song.
I know Steven Crowder, the Louder with Crowder guy, but I don't know. I really thought it was the same guy for a while.
No. But we love Crowder. My mom really loves Crowder, but she was so sick too, and she had a stomach virus. She was getting over it, so she went on anyways, and bless her heart. So it was a really good concert, but not the best memory because of her being sick. But before that, it was also a contemporary Christian concert. We saw Chris Tomlin and Bethel Music and Carrie Job.
Yeah.
And that was really good too. Chris Tomlin is great in concert.
I remember you loving that.
Yeah. And then I know in 2019 I went to Rhythm and Roots. don't even remember who was there that year. But I also went to Floyd Fest in Floyd, Virginia that year, and that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because Casey Musgraves was there. I watched her. And Lucas Nelson, who I've raved about since we saw him, because Willie Nelson's son, he put on such a great show. Like, he gets so into the music, and he's kind of country, folksy. He's more like country rock, folksy music. I don't know, but he was phenomenal.
Yeah, I've heard you rave about that one too. Yeah.
Yeah, he was really good. And Casey, it was the Golden Hour tour, so that was great too.
Dropped off a little bit, in my opinion, since then. But
yeah, I feel like her music has went from like John Prine kind of country,
clever country,
to like electronic pop kind of thing. And whenever they start doing that kind of thing, I'm out.
Yeah. You know who I loved that I saw?
Who?
Frankie Valli in the Four Seasons. I mean, the man was 80-some years old.
Yeah.
And I was in the second row.
Yeah.
Because I went by myself. And you can always get good tickets when you go by yourself. That's a hot ticket or hot tip for anybody. But he was lip singing some of it, or most of it. You know, he had some other way to override it, I think, from what I understand, because it was fascinating.
Yeah.
His lips were just almost perfect with it, but there were just some ways you could just tell he can't possibly be doing that, you know?
Yeah.
But it was great. That crowd went bananas. You wouldn't believe it. I mean, I was the youngest guy in the building, about 20 years probably.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just, you had these 80-year-old women going nuts for him and everything else. It's just, this guy brought the house down.
Who's the biggest concert you ever went to?
Biggest?
You like the biggest name at that time?
Well, probably when Kiss had that first makeup reunion tour. They just brought back Ace Frehley and Peter Criss.
I saw Kiss. They put on a really good concert.
Yeah. I was in Roanoke with the worst seats in the building.
I was in Huntington, West Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, probably all the seats yeah, Kiss was good. I saw Poison when they were on top of their game.
Going back to Kiss for just a second, it amazed me how many fans that they have that like follow them around. And they do the face paint and they go all out.
It's the Kiss Army, they call it.
Yeah, but I was in Huntington and met some people from Johnson City.
Oh, wow.
And they did the face paint and stuff, and they had been to several Kiss concerts. But
well, it's funny how they got these loyal fan bases. If you were around at all, you've got the Oak Ridge Boys. There's a lady sitting in the crowd that said it's like her 82nd Oak Ridge Boy concert. I mean, I maybe inflated it slightly, but it was pretty close to that number.
Yeah.
And so it's just, that's what it takes. You got to get people, the really raving fans, to love you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but I saw Poison. I saw. Have you seen some bad ones that just awful?
Yeah.
Who disappointed you the most?
I saw Hinder when they had the Lips of an Angel come out. I was in high school and I love that song and I love that CD. That was a good CD, but they were so drunk he couldn't remember the words.
That's bad.
And I've just realized then, like, if you are a performer and you can't be with it to put on a good concert for your fans, you're not going to go very far.
Yeah.
But yeah, you didn't ask me who my biggest
Yeah, who was your biggest?
I saw Britney Spears when I was in third grade, and that song Lucky had just come out, and Crazy, and I guess that was like her second or third album, so she was like at her top. I saw her in Knoxville and she was great. I was on cloud nine because I've always loved Britney Spears.
You know one that's underrated that I loved?
Who?
Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah.
I saw him twice, and I'm telling you, I met him in Knoxville.
I remember.
Got his autograph, and I made him laugh with an inappropriate joke. I can't tell here, but
he brags about this story all the time.
It was a legitimate laugh. Now, he threw his head back with that long hair, that glorious long hair that he has. I made Weird Al Yankovic like me. After that, I was like, I brought my confidence up that, I can be funny sometimes.
You know what I'm realizing? You and I both have watched a lot of variety of concerts.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen a ton of country concerts because that's like what my mom listened to the most when I was growing up. And yeah, like I've said before, I've seen Brooks and Dunn in concert many, many times.
Well, I've got this habit
and they're great.
Yeah, oh yeah. I haven't seen them, but I can imagine they would be.
I've seen Toby Keith twice.
I've never seen him. I want to.
I saw him when he was like first coming out, and he was phenomenal. And Keith Urban too. We used to go to Nashville quite a bit. We went to Fanfare in Nashville. Have you heard of it? I mean, it's huge. Like, all the huge name country stars were there. I got to see, I was like an arm's length away from Tim McGraw and Faith Hill.
Yeah.
And she is gorgeous in real life.
Really?
But she wasn't very friendly.
I've heard that.
Tim was, but she wasn't. She kind of was like, meh, these people are annoying kind of thing.
Well, would you be nice if you were super wealthy and popular like
Yes,
that?
I would.
Would you?
Yeah, and she had a humble upbringing.
I'm joking. I know you
She's a
would.
Mississippi girl.
Yeah, I know.
And she was adopted. I mean,
Yeah, she has a good backstory. You'd think.
yeah, you'd think that she'd be very accommodating to fans, but yeah, not so much. But she was gorgeous.
She operates differently.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Who would you have liked to have seen that you didn't, or had a chance to, you thought you might go see and didn't? How about that?
You know, I would have loved to see Tom Petty.
Yeah.
One of his like last
That's a good one.
tours was in Nashville, and I wanted to go really bad, and I didn't get a chance. And it wasn't long after that he passed away, and that breaks my heart
Oh,
because
yeah.
I love Tom Petty.
I did the same thing with Conway Twitty. I know people think that's funny, but
I saw him
did you really?
when I was little. We still have the concert stuff.
My mom saw him too, and she wouldn't wash her hand for like a week. And this is a true story. I've seen
So she
that
got
on
to shake
like
his
Brady
hand?
Bunch or whatever, but this is a true story. It's a source of friction with my mom and dad. Like she
Yeah.
was so smitten that she didn't want to wash her hand for a week after she
I
touched his
love
hand.
that. Yeah.
Touch the hand of the man made you a woman.
I've seen Dolly perform at Dollywood,
I haven't.
but it's been since I was very, very little, so I don't really remember great.
I saw Waylon Jennings at Dollywood, and he was good.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I've seen some weird, strange stuff. You know, it's just all over. Like you said, all
Did you
over
go
the place.
to the Mumford & Sons stopover at Bristol?
No.
That was phenomenal. There was 15,000 people there. It was a huge crowd, and they put on a great show because they're English, you know, but they do like the old time string band mountain music, and or they used to. They went more like indie rock, and again, I've lost it for them
Yeah.
a little bit.
I think
but-
everybody has, but
Yeah, but when they were doing that, I loved them, and they did a phenomenal show, and they were so sweet. Like, they were just so nice. They actually got ready and everything in the train station,
wow.
hung out in there.
What's funny is I got a Union Jack flag from that concert, but I wasn't there.
I figured that you would be.
I know.
We saw Dwight Yoakam together.
I was just about to mention that. Yeah, that was a good show. wasn't it?
Yeah, that was really good. Judah and the Lion,
Judah
they
and
were
the Lion.
at Rhythm and Roots that year.
We
They
saw
were
the
really good.
Congos. I know it's Congos, but
Yeah, the Congos.
I like to throw that in there
You
because
always
it
say
drives you
that.
crazy.
Yeah.
That was fun. So who would you like to see now that's out there if you could see anybody? Any, you can say one or two or however many you think that comes to mind.
Let me think on it. Do you have any?
Yeah, right off the top of my head, I was thinking the Killers. I told you that. I'd love to
Yeah.
see them.
I would like to see them.
I have this panic in me that I want to
At
see
the disco?
these. Yeah, Panic at the Disco. I'd like to see them. You threw me off now. I had this panic to go see these people that are getting old. Like
Yeah.
I saw Don Williams just a little bit before he died, and man, I am so glad I did. He was
I
so
talked
good.
you out of seeing Bob Dylan.
So you talked me out of seeing Bob Dylan. You did. I was going to go. I don't even like any of his stuff.
That's why I talked him out of going. He doesn't even like Bob Dylan. Why
But
would
he's
he
an
do
icon.
it?
The man's an icon. It's
He
like
is
maybe
an
it changed me.
icon, but you couldn't hear him 40 years ago. What's he gonna sound like now? He's a great songwriter. I like Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Especially his stuff with Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
I wish I could have seen Johnny Cash. I love
Yeah.
Johnny Cash.
That's yeah, Johnny Cash would have been great. I didn't see him either. I didn't see hardly any of those big names. I don't know what
Yeah.
happened. George Jones had all these
And
opportunities.
concerts weren't as much back then. You know, now they're ridiculous.
Oh, I know.
I mean,
yeah.
it's nothing for people to pay like $400 to go see a concert. I saw Red Hot Chili Peppers. They're one
That's
of
a
my
good one,
favorite. Yeah. But I would like to go see some that I've seen before again and have better tickets. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, I've been in the nosebleed section a few times.
Well, that's the way it was with Kiss. I couldn't see much, and I had a big screen, but it felt like you went there. It felt like I was watching
It's
a
on
bad
the
TV.
screen. Yeah.
And I went to this 4th of July concert in D.C. It had the Beach Boys, it had Jimmy
cool.
Buffett, but I didn't see any, the Temptations. It had all these people.
Oh, that would be so
But I didn't get to see
cool.
them because it was so far back. All you could see was the screen, and it's like watching on TV.
I tell you, well, okay, I'll say this. I would love to see Stevie Nicks. I know that would be one you wouldn't go with me to. She's going to be around here.
We'll be
I would
excited
love to
about
see Stevie Nicks. But I was going to say, I've seen some really good concerts that weren't the actual people. But like Black Jacket Symphony comes to the Paramount, and they do a really good job. They did Fleetwood Mac, and they did a Queen show, and they had Mark Martell. I went blank on his name. He's actually a contemporary Christian singer, but he sounds exactly like Freddie Mercury. So much so that in the movie Bohemian Rhapsody, they used his voice for a lot of the songs.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he sounds just like Freddie. So that was a great show. And I was trying to think, there's been I saw like a Beatles tribute band in Marion at the Lincoln Theater years ago, and they were really good. So I like shows like that even. I just love music. I think we both do.
I do too. That was the thing when I went to see Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. I was kind of sort of a fan, but when I saw how good the instrument or musician quality it blew me away to where I was a huge fan after I left. I was like,
oh yeah.
It was so good, the horn section and all that stuff. It's like, man.
Oh, that reminds me. My mom was talking about the Stray Cats this weekend.
Really?
And I was like, I know that would be a show that you and her both would love, and I would love being there too. But
Brian Setzer's is
I know y'all both love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cat Strut. I sing that to my cat all the time. It's made me like him. I'm not much of a cat fan, but when I put that song on him, he's a jerk. So you know he is.
I love your cat.
I like him. We're okay.
But we
roommates.
digress.
We're like bad roommates.
We digress.
Yeah.
Anyway. But I can't think of anybody else that I would really love to see, although I know that there's plenty.
Oh, me too. Same here.
It's just, I would have to like sit down and make a list. But I love all kinds of music, but my favorite is like classic rock. And all those people aren't around anymore, or aren't performing or whatever.
Yeah.
Sadly.
I had some phase in my life where I just wouldn't pay that much for tickets and blah, blah, blah. Now I'm at the point where if I'm going to go, I'm going to pay up and get the best seat I can possibly get, because if you're going to pay anyway, why not get the best experience you can afford?
That's me with concerts or vacation or whatever. If I go, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to be able to do everything that I want to do and make the most of it,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, well, we've run out of gas on this one, but what are some of you guys' favorite concerts you've been to?
Who would you love to see?
Would you love to see somebody disappoint you? Did you meet anybody?
Yeah.
Because we shook hands with a few people. Waylon Jennings waved at
we
me.
missed out one that we both would have loved to be at, but there was no way that we could.
What's that?
Come to our area. Elvis.
Oh, yeah. Man, that would have been the ultimate there.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been the ultimate.
And maybe some of you guys have seen Elvis. I've known people that have.
Oh, yeah, true.
Oh,
very
yeah.
True.
So I would love to hear all of your music stories.
I know, we just love it. There's something about the atmosphere and stuff, and just talking about music anyway.
Yeah.
We do it a lot.
You can tell that's something we're passionate about.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
All right.
We will talk to you guys soon.